make sure that we're moving along and everyone understands where we are and keep things in context, make sure we stay on track and moving forward. So we do anticipate we'll have a number of neighbors joining us who may not have been through the entire process. Stop calling me. Okay, 6 p.m. everyone. I'm going to go ahead and open the waiting room. Have a great meeting. Good evening, everyone. I'm still admitting people from the waiting room, so we'll be getting started in a few moments. Thank you for your patience. Okay, if everyone can make sure they're on mute.
César, bájala tu televisión.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Dallas ISD Bond 2020 meeting to discuss the new replacement campus for John Quincy Adams Elementary School. We're so glad to have you join us today. We do have people participating in a number of different ways, so we're very excited to have you join us here, either the Zone live in Zoom or on Facebook in both Spanish and Espanol. Oh, and I'm going to pause at this time to allow our interpreter to come and give instructions in Spanish on how to participate in this evening's meeting. Go ahead. And again, thank you so much and welcome to tonight's meeting. Tonight, we'll be discussing plans for the new replacement campus for John Quincy Adams Elementary School. We do have a number of people still joining the call on Zoom. Okay, great. Again, welcome. There'll be another opportunities for you to interact and communicate with us and share your thoughts, ideas, and ask questions. If you're joining us, we do ask that you do keep your phones on mute to avoid any background noises that may interfere. I'm pausing right now because we have had a request for a live
recording in progress.
Go on, so that is in place now. Closed captioning has been enabled for this particular meeting, and the meeting is being recorded and will be shared on the Bond website at the following the meeting. Again, this is a meeting for the replacement campus for John Quincy Adams Elementary School. There'll be numerous opportunities for you to share your thoughts, ask questions, and make comments later in the meeting following the presentations. If you're joining us on the Zoom call, you'll be able to ask questions and make comments in the chat, or you can raise your hand using the reactions button in the lower right-hand portion of the screen. If you're joining us and viewing on Facebook, we encourage you to make your comments and ask any questions. Just as comments on Facebook, we will get those answered as well. Asked and answered as well. So we're very excited for tonight's meeting. Again, we're still having people joining us. I want to make sure that before we officially start the presentation, the most number of people are actually in place as as the need be. But I want to start this evening with our frontline people, our frontline staff, the administration at John Quincy Adams. If you, Ms. Batson, if you would like to make any opening remarks at this time, please do so. You can go off mute. Okay, go right ahead.
Good morning. Afternoon, actually. I'm sorry. My name is Monica Batison. I am the assistant principal at John Quincy Adams.
Okay, great. And thank you so much for joining us and for joining us this evening on behalf of the school's administration. At this time, I know we have our amazing executive director for this particular campus on the call as well. If Ms. Nunez, if you'd like to make any opening remarks at this time, please do so.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank all the parents and community and staff members that have joined this meeting. We're really, really excited to hear about the progress in getting John Quincy Adams the building that they deserve. So we're really excited to hear the updates, and parents, we encourage you to please ask questions. We're happy to share whatever information we have so far. And again, thank you all for making the time to meet with us this afternoon.
Thank you so much. And thank you both for the work that you do to ensure that our children are being educated in a safe and responsive learning environment. You really are our front line workers, and you really are our heroes, or shall I say heroes, across the district, working with our children as strong educational partners. I want to acknowledge the presence of Tony Shield, the chairman of the Dallas Plan Commission, the Plan Commission for the City of Dallas, who's also on tonight's call, hearing in. So we know we're all here to hear about the new John Quincy Adams. So we don't want to take up any more time of your time. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Brent Alfred, who is the bond department. Let me set the stage. Bond 2020 is the largest bond in the history of the state of Texas, and Dallas ISD is committed to changing the learning environments and improving the learning environments for our students and learners across the district, not just now, but for generations to come. So leading this charge and leading this particular effort is none other than Deputy Chief of Construction Services, Brent Alfred. Mr. Alfred, go ahead.
Hey, thank you, Ms. Bell, and thank you, John Quincy Adams community. As I understand it, we may have a few new folks joining us today, and we're excited about that. So I'll briefly catch you up on, this process and where we've been. This is our third meeting with this community, and because we had a mission at the very beginning to be very transparent, very interactive and collaborative with the community, teachers, and the surrounding community. So, our first meeting, we came up with a theme to think big, bold, innovation, and generational. And so from that listening session, we kind of walked away with our theme that would guide us throughout the design process here. In our second meeting, we came back to the community, trying to see if we interpret some of the ambitions correctly. We had some options to choose from. And so right now here, we have the big reveal of the final design. And as we go through it, we'll also answer some of your zoning questions, setbacks, height requirements, and transportation. And I'm sure there's probably questions about the move as well. But if you allow our architect to go through an entire presentation, he may answer some of those questions. And then we'll have the Q&A at the end. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to RPGA architects, John, Javier, and Travis. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. So good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Looks like we have a really good turnout today. As Brent mentioned, this is our third presentation to the community, so we're going to update you in the process that we've done. We submitted our design development documents a couple of weeks ago, so we're in the process of developing the construction documents as we speak tonight. So there's still a little bit of time for additional input, but we're going to show you where we are today. So we'll go to the next image. So again, this is the anchor statement for the DISD, that the opportunity-driven educational environment advances the lives of students, families, and staff so that they can positively impact the community and realize a better future. Again, something that we're all as a team striving to achieve here. A quick introduction again of the team. Myself, my brother John, and Travis Teeter are on tonight's meeting. As far as consultants, we've got AIM Engineering, Victory Park Studios for our landscape, R.L. Woods for structural, Wells Doak for MEP Engineers, and Cedric Frank for our technology. These are consultants that have worked together with us and the district for over 20 years now. So we have a really good team that has a lot of experience with the district. So we're going to go an overview of the existing and the new facilities here. Again, many of you have seen some of these images, but for the people who are new to this community meeting, I'll kind of give you a glimpse of what we've talked about in the past as well. So overall, this is an aerial view of the current John Quincy Adams campus, a view from the southwest corner of the site. You see the main original building there in front of us with the portables over to the left, and then the church that's over off of Pleasant Street over to the east side. So in a site plan, again, an aerial view, images here, image number one, kind of just showing you the existing buildings. Again, the former campus building that ran along Lake June Road there along the south. We have the L-shaped building that was an addition that came later along Pleasant Drive. And then we're showing you where the existing parking is, where the item 2 is. And then number 3, again, where the portables are. And you can see here 4 in the green dashed lines there shows you the footprint of where the new building will go. So we're saving some of the trees on site, as many as we can. And obviously, because of where the new building is going and where the parking is going, we are losing some of those trees, but we did try to maintain as many of the trees as we could. So again, these are some items, some list of items that were discussed at our first 2 meetings about community input and things that the community desired. Just to go over a few, obviously this new facility has a tornado shelter. We've got large multi-purpose rooms throughout the school. We've got outdoor seating. We've got a school garden area as well. And as with all schools in the district now, we've got improved security access for a safe and secure campus. So just a few bullet points that we've discussed of the ones listed here before you. All right, so here's our new site. Here in white is the footprint of the new school. We show the number 3 shows where the entrance to the school will be. So we're no longer entering, the front of the school is no longer on Lake June Road. We will now be coming along the east side on the Pleasant Drive for the new entrance. The parking there located on the east side of the school as well. And we've got bullet number 5 showing you the new paved play area, with number 6 being a large a soccer field with a walking track around it as well. The entire site will be fenced with an ornamental fence as well for security purposes. And then I'll bring you into a couple of images here now. I'm sorry, we'll start with the traffic flow here. So based on the traffic management report that we in the process of completing with the city, shows you how the cars will now be queuing up to get cars off of Lake June Road and allow cars to queue within the site as much as possible to ease traffic around the school for pickup and drop off. So as you can see right now, the proposal is that we're going to come along Lake June up Conner Drive and enter from the west side of the campus and queue along those edges and along the north side of the school, and then come back south in front of the school. And on that area, you have 2 rows that allow for queuing and a 3rd row that allow cars to move directly out. As I said, this is the traffic management plan that's been submitted to the city. It's in the process of being reviewed and approved by the city as we speak now. All right, so I'm showing you a floor plan here now of the school itself. On the lower part of the screen are in blue are the kindergarten and 1st grade classrooms on the 1st floor. In the middle and at the focal point of the school is a new media center that you see as you come into the building. And then we have the special education classes that are on the right side of the building as well. So as you enter the building there at the corner of the L shape, we've got the administration wing that's on the right-hand side that will control access into the school. We've got the clinic located there nearby as well. And then behind the administration, we've got the music stage area, which is part of the cafetorium, which is located north of that with the kitchen behind that and all the way up to the north with the mechanical space behind it. And then off to the left in the teal color is a gym storm shelter, which gives access to the courtyard and the outside directly, and is also isolated as part of the storm shelter requirement for the new school. Going on to the 2nd floor, we've got again over the 1st floor classroom wing, we've got more classrooms that are the second, third, fourth, and fifth grades that are located on the second level with an overlook of the media center. There's a staff areas as well with group restrooms throughout, and stairs, 3 different stairs to serve the second floor, with one being a primary stair at the center and then 2 stairs on both ends of the education wings. And then you can see on mechanical mezzanine shown on the upper portion of the plan, and the gymnasium itself being a double volume space for the height that it needs, with a mechanical mezzanine on the south side of that gymnasium. An overview of the school. This is a 3D looking at it from the southeast corner of the site. So again, you see the classroom wing there along Lake June Road on the south side, with the administration and cafetorium and kitchen and all to the back, again with the gymnasium on the upper left-hand side as well. And you can see how the parking moves around the front of the building and from the west side of the building along Connor across the north side of the campus out onto Pleasant Road as well. Another view this time from the northeast corner of the site. So now I'm looking towards the main entrance of the school there on the lower left-hand side there in the corner of the L, with the classroom wing up on the front there along Lake June, and the back of the gymnasium and cafetorium and administration wing here on the lower right-hand side. So now I'm going to walk you in these. So these are some 3D perspectives now, showing again closer image from where we just were, but now as a perspective, showing you the entrance of the school there, and basically in the center of this image. On the right-hand side, where the canopy is, that's where the cafeteria is, which will also serve as a drop-off pickup point for students during drop-off and pickup time. And then we've got the 2-story classroom wing that you see in the background there on the left-hand side. And now a close-up of the entrance as we're coming in here. You see the canopy there at the center of the image, which is the entrance into the school itself, with the 2-story classroom wing there on the left and the administration wing there on the right, as you see from this image. And the lower, on the right-hand corner of these images, it shows you where these images are taken in the plan, and kind of to try to orient you. So again, this is the corner of the entrance of the site where you actually come into the school. Next image. So this is an image a little further to the north from where we were before. So now you're kind of seeing the canopy entrance there at the cafeteria, with the admin entrance canopy there further left, as you can see at the end of the image. This is an image from the southeast corner of the site, looking at the front of the 2-story wing. Again, kind of showing you our consideration of colors here. This isn't a finished plan as it shows here. These are draft images, where again, try to highlight some of the colors of the school, introducing some green, some white within the mix of the colors that we're using here. So we have a lighter color, gray color, and these colors aren't exactly true. We've actually picked the actual bricks. It's difficult to get those actual colors to convey in these presentations, but it is a lighter gray color with some aluminum panels that will be on the upper portions of the school as well. The next image, again, showing this is now the media center, which you'll see from Lake June Road and right in front of the school. So this is looking directly north, where the current main entrance to the school is now. This is what will front Lake June Road, but this will actually be the media center that'll be looking out into Lake June Road, with an outdoor planting area for students to work as a kind of a dual outside space for teaching space, with access from the classrooms themselves and directly from the media center as well. Again, a similar view looking from a little bit further west, looking back at that same area with the walls that kind of define that area. Again, highlighting some of the space, and that large darker wall you see there on the left is a wall that actually goes into the school itself and kind of anchors the media center in the school itself and on the site. This is a view from the west, the southwest side. Again, another part of the education classroom wing portion, very similar to what you saw on the east side. So the theme itself, the same color palette throughout, with accents of glazed green green brick and some green awnings as well, which will give color and texture to the building from the exterior. Now this is an image that's not fully developed yet, but this is from the courtyard side. So the classroom wing that you see there on the right-hand side is the wing that's on the east side of the school. And this looks at the back west elevation of the corridor that connects the classroom wing to the gymnasium, and you run through the actual edge of the cafeteria and the cafetorium as you access there. So you actually see how this portion of the school is actually transparent unless you look through the school and out onto the courtyard itself. And these are some of the large existing trees that we're going to be able to keep. If you're familiar with the school there, where the playground currently is located, we're actually going to keep another playground in that similar area. We are having to move it a little bit because of protecting those trees and making sure we don't affect them when we do the work around this site. We will also have an amphitheater, which you kind of see the edge of on the right-hand side there, that will be part of this courtyard, and it separates the outdoor area here from the track and soccer field is located to the right of this image. And to the left of this is the gymnasium, which we'll show you here in the image that follows. So this is the gymnasium again. It's located on the north side of the site, and you can see the courtyard again that's framed by the education wing on the east and the corridor along the east side, and then the gymnasium itself on the north side. So now this is looking into the building itself. So this is coming into the main entrance. Once you come through the vestibule, this is what you'll see with the media center on the left. We will introduce some graphics in this area that will introduce some of the branding for the school, similar to what you currently have in the school. We're also going to be introducing some of the colors that have been selected for the school that we've received input from over the last few meetings we've had. And then the area in the middle is actually a little seating area that we've created kind of as a collaboration space that also introduces the main stair that's behind you. You can kind of see the first few steps from the stair behind those steps. And then on the right-hand side is where you'll have entered into the administration wing. But when you come out of that office, this is where you'll come in. This will be your view as you enter the school. And then you can see through the glass the transparency out to the outdoor courtyard area that we've created for the school. This is an image from looking east from the west side of the cafeteria, looking at where the stage would be. Again, kind of showing you what the cafeteria area would look like, a much larger space with the windows looking out towards the front of the school. So when you come off for drop off and pickup, that's the view that you'll have from the cafeteria. And if you were to turn around to the right, you'd be actually looking out at the courtyard itself. So again, very transparent and open look of the school. This is a view in the media center. This is a double volume space, a two-story space in the media center. This is looking towards the front where you actually would come in, but this is, again, just an area showing some of the furniture that would be in the media center. We have a maker space off to the right that just has its own enclosed space, and then we have a space, the orange cube up above. It's one of the spaces from the second floor that overlooks down into the space. And then the walkway from the second floor that overlooks the media center as kids move across from east to west on the second floor. All right, just giving you a brief update on the status of the work. The environmental phase 1 of the existing facility has been completed. The traffic study, as I mentioned earlier, is currently in process. The zoning is in process as well, and we'll talk about that in more detail here in a few minutes. The geotechnical report, which gives us the information of the soils conditions in the area, has been completed as well. The site survey, tree surveys have been completed. We have completed the demolition abatement drawings, which will be going out for bid and permitting here in the next few weeks, have been completed as well. And we are now commencing, as I mentioned earlier, the construction document phase of this project. There is also preparation now for the relocation of the former Hawthorne Elementary School for the Adams student relocation throughout the construction of the new school as well. Our current schedule for now is we've got the preparation of the former Hawthorne Elementary School is in process now, and that should be completed in the spring over the next couple of months. The demolition of the existing school will take place this summer. Staff relocation to the former Hawthorne Elementary will also take place and be ready to go for August of this year for the next school year. Like I said, again, mentioned earlier, the demolition portion is scheduled to be completed in October for the new school to start construction in the winter of 2022. We're scheduled to complete the new school by the spring of 2024 and have the students in their brand new school for the fall semester of 2024. All right, I'm going to let I think other people take over now for the relocation to the former Hawthorne School.
Okay. Mr. Alfred, do you want to speak to the relocation plans, or Ms. Nunez? I know you've been dealing with this as well. So everyone's aware, because this is a brand new school and it requires demolition of the existing campus, our students and our entire faculty will be temporarily relocated to the former Nathaniel Hawthorne Elementary School, not far from this campus. That school is made available because they just entered their brand new campus this school year. So, Mr. Alfred, if you want to share some thoughts about that or kind of bring us up to date on that.
Yeah, so I've been getting updates from the team, and they're almost complete with some of the graphics and the painting, and making sure that when we get to the former Hawthorne School, that it has all the JQA branding and can welcome the parents. It's going to be completed over the spring break, and we'd like to walk it with the not the teachers, but with the principal and a select group of PTA or parents, just so we can get a feel and a punch list. So there's anything extra we need to do in preparation to take care of that over the summer. But the project team updated me today. It's looking pretty good. And like I say, we'll get a punch list over the spring break. We are still working through the logistics of transportation, and we will be communicating that plan to you as we develop it more. Any questions or?
And so everyone will know, one question I know will probably come up for the teachers and the staff members at John Quincy Adams. The only thing you will have to do literally is pack up your personal belongings. Dallas ISD will handle the moving of items from one classroom to the other. So if you're in classroom 202 and you're in the new build in the your temporary location, you'll be in 103. Don't worry, you don't have to do anything but just pack up, and we will have someone to transport all of your items over to the former Hawthorne campus. Okay, so at this point in time, we're pausing now to start answering for questions. If you have questions, if you're joining us on Facebook, again, just include them as comments and we'll get those answered. But if you're joining us here on the Zoom call, you can either ask your questions, make any comments in the chat room, or you can go to the lower right-hand side on the reactions button and raise your hand, and we'll allow you to come off mute at this particular time. We'll allow you to come off mute at this particular time and ask your questions. So anyone have any thoughts, questions, ideas, comments? Everyone's very quiet. So let me ask you this, just for a show of hands on the reactions button. Jasmine, I think you had your hand raised, Ms. Gutierrez, is that correct? Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when the kids move to the new school to Hawthorne, are we still going to be dealing with all the staff and the paperwork with the name of John Quincy Adams, or would it be Hawthorne paperwork?
It will be John Quincy Adams.
Okay.
And you will have your own address as well. The project team is working on what that address will be. Since Hawthorne kept their existing address for that campus, there is paperwork going in as far as what your actual street address will be, but everything, you will be John Quincy Adams. You'll simply be temporarily located at the former Hawthorne.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Bell, if I could add as well, so if you go by the former Hawthorne School, it already has John Quincy Adams on the school, so it's already named that way, so that people can see that that name change has taken place on the outside of the building.
Fantastic. I wasn't sure whether you guys had made that happen before spring break, so I didn't want to say anything yet. And trust me, when you see the school is being completely branded, so it will be John Quincy Adams. As long as you are there until the new John Quincy Adams open up, it is John Quincy Adams. We're asking, can you go back to the layout of the new campus? And Ms. Lewis, are you referencing the site plan or where it actually shows the different spaces in the color blocks? If you could let me know which image you're wanting to see.
The site plan with the layout.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is that the site plan with the layout? Is that what you were looking for?
This one's good.
Okay, you went too far. Let's come back a little bit. Yeah, that one.
Is this one okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Could you just review that? We did have a lot of people been joining us throughout the meeting. If you could just review that again.
All right, so the white layout of the footprint, that's the footprint of the new building that basically, again, still faces Lake June Road the way the current school does, but it doesn't serve as its main entrance. The number 3 represents where the new main entrance will be. So again, and the reason for that is we've tried to take most of the queuing of vehicles off of Lake June Road and bring them onto Otter Drive and allow them to queue up within
You know what this, touch it.
Okay, hold 1 second. Hold 1 second. I'm going to ask everyone to please make sure that you're on mute. We have a little bit of noise coming through. So if everyone can make sure that you're on mute. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
All right. And then so on the north side, along the northwest side is where we have the service entrance and some service parking there for some of the staff members. And then on the where the number 2 is, that's where the primary parking is as well for staff and visitors. And then you've got 3 lanes of queuing that take place along the front of the school and out towards Pleasant Drive to maximize the number of cars that queue up during drop off and pickup. And then we've got number 4 represents the outside courtyard that we have that takes advantage of the trees that are there. We're gonna have a small amphitheater out there as well. And the corridor that connects the the classroom wing to the gymnasium, cafeteria, all looks out onto that courtyard, giving us a really nice, I think it'll be a really beautiful courtyard that we're gonna create for you there as a space that both serves as a play area and a teaching area and a little potential for a little theater as well, if that's necessary. And then 6 represents the area that we provided for a soccer field with a walking track around that as well. And as I mentioned earlier, the entire site will have an ornamental iron fence around the entire site to provide security along Pleasant, Lake June, and Concord roads.
Okay, we have a few more questions. I do see someone with their hands up, but I do want to get these questions in the chat, and I'll come right to you. This says, where do you envision the garden space being located?
So we have actually 2 garden spaces. We have a garden space right there in front. So the media center right there in front. Again, this area is a secure area. You'll have access to it from both sides of the classroom wings, from the east and west, as well as directly from the media center. So this is really going to be a focal point for outdoor teaching, and it'll be easily accessible from the classrooms and from the media center.
Great.
And also taking advantage of some of the large existing trees that are out there.
Okay, we do have a question coming from Facebook. So again, I'm trying to get everyone included. Okay, how long will it take to build this school? And if you could go back to that slide as well for the timeline for the actual construction of the school.
Yes. So the current timeline, just to go as we're waiting, we are scheduled to start demolition of the existing school this summer, which will be completed this year in preparation for beginning the new school sometime toward the end of this year, beginning of next year, and scheduled to have a completion of the new school by the spring of 2024 in preparation for starting fall semester of 2024 at the new school.
Okay, so that everyone will be aware, the relocation plan is that when we are out this school year, will be the last year we'll be in the current John Quincy Adams building. When the children arrive and report back to school in next school year, 2022-2023 school year, they will be temporarily located at the what would then be the current, now former Nathaniel Hawthorne building. and will remain there until construction is completed on the new John Quincy Adams in 2024, and then they'll report back there. And there will be a lot of information coming forth with parents about reporting, traffic, all the information you need to know for that make that transition smooth will be coming forward across throughout the spring and the summer to make it easier as well. We do have Mr. Acevedo, I believe, Acevedo. You have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, yeah, my question was about traffic because I know there's Hawthorne right next door and then John Quincy Adams temporary building. I was wondering, will there be, difficulty picking up our kids because there are two schools dismissing at the same time? I believe that's an elementary school, correct?
That is an elementary school, and I know Mr. Alfred. I'm not sure if you want to speak to that, but there will be traffic plans for both those, Mr. Alfred.
Correct. Yeah, we're working through the traffic management plan, and we're thinking about with both principals a time pickoff, a delayed pickup and drop off for each one, and we're going to assist them in getting out a communication letter with that schedule and getting feedback. So we're going to have several more small meetings with you guys and start emailing those times.
And also, to be clear, we do have our head of transportation for Dallas ISD is on the call. He will also be working is in this meeting tonight. He'll also be working with the parents and the transition team to have a survey go out regarding the transportation needs, what other options we may have. So you'll be seeing a lot of information after spring break coming your way to get input, because we want to ensure that this transition is as smooth as possible and that we're good neighbors and good stewards to both our campuses.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question? Now's the time. I am going to ask this because I said this has been a very, very productive meeting. A lot of people are interested in this project, so we're very welcoming to the community. Could you just go back through the renderings one more time? Because we did have a number of people joining us midway through the renderings. So I want to make sure that everyone sees the vision for the new Hawthorne and how we've heard the community input over these past two meetings, and they've been incorporated into the design of this particular building. And one question we have coming up, are school buses being considered? I don't know if Mr. Sandoval or Mr. Alfred, if you want to speak to that during the relocation.
Yes, during the renovation. That's a big part of our plan, but we're going to put that out to the parents and in a survey to make sure we're all on the same page. But yes, sir.
Okay. And here's another comment. I think it would be a good idea if we had at least 15 minutes different time in and time out to avoid a little traffic. So we are making note of that as well. And again, these transportation surveys will be forthcoming after spring break.
And let me also state, just for people who didn't attend the first two meetings, one of the reasons on this site that we ended up demolishing the entire building and having to relocate was because of the size of this site. This site was not large enough for us to build a new school and safe and keep the children safe in the existing school without compromising issues. So that is the reason that we're having to relocate to the former Hawthorne school to give you a better, at the end of this, we'll have a better facility because we were able to clear the site and give you a school building that takes advantage of the smaller site that we have here. So again, for people who may have missed some of these aerial views, this is a view from the northeast side of the campus looking at the main entrance with the canopy of the cafeteria there to the right, and on the left seeing the classroom, two-story classroom wing, and then the gymnasium off to the right in the background as well. Next image is kind of a close-up of the entry into the school. With again the two-story classroom wing on the left and the administration windows there on the right-hand side behind the entrance. A view a little bit further north, kind of capturing the cafeteria entrance with the main entrance in the background there on the left. A view from the southeast corner of the site, looking at the classroom wing, again showing you some of the color studies we're doing, incorporating brick and glazed brick and some colors on the awnings due to on the windows facing the south to give us some shade protection there, with some aluminum panels that we're working with as well. These are some of the materials we've used successfully in other projects. The colors are different here, where the colors are based on input we received from the community, and again, using some of the colors from John Quincy Adams School. The view directly looking at the media center, which is what you'll see from Lake June Road. Again, with the 2 classroom wings on the right and left that have direct access to this outside space. It's also accessible from the media center there directly in front. Part of this area will be covered as well, so it's protected from rain or the weather, but also open to outside classroom studies as well. A view just a little bit further of that same area, looking at it from a little bit further west. And again, the wall that you see, the dark wall you see there on the left, is a wall that's going to be the anchor of the complete school here, kind of showing itself on the front, but also anchoring the media center when you come into the building. So you'll see that wall in the interior as well. A view from the southwest side, again, very similar to the view from the southeast. Both wings represent classrooms, so it'll be very similar in aesthetic as well. And this, I think, is going to be one of the nicest spaces that you'll have here, is the outdoor space that's enclosed by the classroom wing on the east, there on the southeast side, with the long corridor that connects the classrooms to the gymnasium and the cafeteria, looking out into the courtyard. This is going to be a great area for outdoor activities and just for a view. I think it's a really prominent feature of the school. And they'll have the gymnasium on the left-hand side or the north side of the campus. A similar view from now looking at the gymnasium itself, and on the right-hand side, I didn't mention, but there's an amphitheater, an outside amphitheater as well. That's on the right-hand side. A view from the interior, again, playing with some of the colors that we talked about through some of the meetings we've had with staff and with the community. This is a view from the entrance, what you come out of the administration wing into the school itself. The floor itself will have more colors as well. Right now, we're in the process of developing that scheme. So there will be more color. It'll be a brighter space that we're looking at. And again, just introducing some of the colors and some of the graphics that will be considered for this school, similar to what you have now as far as branding features. A view of the cafetorium, again, looking from the west side of the space onto the stage itself, and looking out through the drop-through area that you see through the windows there. And similarly, if you were to turn right, you would be able to look out to the courtyard, which I've talked about before. And again, this is a much larger volume space for cafeteria and for auditorium events. This is a view in the media center itself. Again, this is a 2-story space. This is looking towards the entrance of the media center, with that wall that I mentioned before being the anchor to this building. You see there on the left-hand side. We've also got the windows from the corridor that connects the east and west wings of the second floors, looking onto the media center as children walk across that space. And then we kind of feature the orange box of one of the spaces that's on the second floor. So those are the images there. If anybody has any questions or wants to see any of those specific images, please let us know.
Okay, we do have a couple of questions. We also want to make sure that we're getting them from Facebook as well. And we've also had a question. We talk about the relocation plan for the school, since the school will be demolished. John Quincy Adams will be temporarily relocated to the former Nathaniel Hawthorne building, which is now vacant due to Hawthorne moving into their new building this school year. That school is currently being branded, cleaned, and prepped for John Quincy Adams. In fact, the sign has already been changed. So the former Hawthorne is now, if you could say, I guess that would be John Quincy Adams Northish at this particular point, but it will be for John Quincy Adams, and that's where the children will report beginning August of 2022. We do have another question from Facebook, our Spanish listeners, viewers on Facebook. Saying that the auditorium, and if you could explain about the cafetorium, maybe go back to that slide. We did have a question about the cafetorium and what that space means.
Okay, so cafeteria means this is a dual purpose space. This is done in a lot of your schools. This is actually on a day-to-day basis. It serves as your cafeteria. So to the left, which you can't see, that's where the kitchen will be. That's where the students will go to pick up their meals. And this will serve primarily as a cafeteria space. But in the event of large community space meetings, this will be converted and additional seating will be provided for an auditorium space. So the large green curtain you're seeing there serves as the curtain for the stage. So this will be an elevated stage. So performances will happen here, public meetings can be held here. So that term, because it's used as an auditorium and a cafeteria, we call it a cafeteria.
Okay, great. And do we have a picture of what the gym will look like?
We do not. The gym is it'll be a standard gym. It'll have full court basketball. It'll also be able to be set up for volleyball. It also serves as a tornado shelter. So it's a basic gymnasium. There's nothing extraordinary about it. As an elementary gymnasium, we do not have bleachers in it for viewing of games since it's in an elementary gym. So it is purely a gymnasium for children, the student activities. And again, dual purpose. So it will serve as a tornado shelter as well, if that's ever necessary.
Okay, and also if we can have another question, if you can go to the, I guess the slide that shows the soccer field. There was a question about that.
Sorry.
Right there is good. What will the area for the soccer field or walking track? Will there, and can you kind of let us know where the soccer field is going to be and if there's a walking track in that particular area planned?
There's a loop there, and the soccer field will be within that space. John, I don't know if you can speak to the actual dimensions of the soccer field and the track itself.
Yes, the soccer field itself is designed for grade levels 10 and under it's for a 10-year-old and younger soccer field size. So it's designed for kids of this age group for size, and it meets the regulations for that type of age group.
And the length of the track, the walking surface, what did that end up being?
That is roughly about a little over an eighth of a mile.
Okay, so eight laps will get your mile workout in.
Okay. We do have a question coming from Facebook as well, and more of a statement and a question about at the temporary location when they move to the Hawthorne, that school schedule should be carefully synchronized. Having two schools on the same street and having both schools let out at the same time will create chaos. So they're just asking to make sure that traffic study and that those type of items are taken into consideration. And again, I will reiterate the fact there will be a survey going out to parents to address these issues and allow for input during this time. Look for that to come out after spring break. Do we have any additional questions? We're monitoring both Facebook, and thank you so much. We have a large audience participating in Facebook in Spanish as well. So we're very pleased, and thank you so much for joining us, for sharing your thoughts and asking questions. Does anyone else have any comments or questions, concerns you want to express? Do so now. Okay. I'm checking to see if anyone's hand is raised. I don't see anyone's hands raised at this time. So we want to be respectful of everyone's time as well. And thank you, appreciate your input, not just at tonight's meeting, but throughout this entire process. It's been a lengthy process, but well worth it to be able to understand and meet the needs of our communities. So with that being said, I'm going to ask Mr. Alfred, if you could take us with next steps and where we head from here, and what we can expect next.
Yeah, Javier did a great job of giving us a recap, but yeah, after this concept or this design development drawing, we're going into the construction documents phase, where it's going to be a highly technical set of drawings. We'll continue to meet in small groups with principals and teaching staff just to get feedback on those final tweaks we're going to make on the interior of the building, as well as start our meetings with the city of Dallas to make sure that we're having a pre-development meeting and they're getting to kind of tell us some of their requirements as well. As Javier stated, we would like ideally to demolish the building starting in the fall and start going vertical late winter of this year in anticipation of opening in 2024. We've enjoyed this series of meetings. I always tease Ms. Bell that, she can't wait for our next one where, I'm thinking it's going to be the groundbreaking, but we may have to touch base with you guys in some form of fashion in between that time. So with that said, thank you for your involvement, your input. I think it's made this building better, and we're looking forward to those next steps. Thank you.
Great. Now, I do want to, of course, you're quite welcome. We always want to know, and we are here to service, of course, and provide a safe learning environment for our students. So with that being said, Ms. Nunez, would you like to make any closing remarks?
So again, good afternoon, everybody that's joined us. Just a reminder to the parents, community, and staff to please reach out. We're having these scheduled meetings, but if you have questions or anything that you want us to address, just give us a call, email us, or just reach out to the campus so that we can, again, keep everyone informed, and that we are, like Ms. Bell mentioned, providing a safe space for the students, and that everything is making sense as we're moving along this process. And of course, I do want to thank Ms. Bell and Mr. Alfred and all the team, the architects, for their time and their explaining to us every step of the way so that everybody feels informed and that everybody has input. So thank you all again.
And again, thank you so much as well. This has been an enjoyable process, as Mr. Alfred shared. And I want to reiterate to our parents and to our community that's on the line, this is only the beginning. You might not hear from us for a little while, but you will be receiving messaging. We will be working with the campus, with the executive director, with the principal and the staff to make sure that we're getting critical messaging out to you, not just about the transition and the relocation, but also about construction and different points. We're excited, and we'll be working with them and their crew group to plan a fantastic groundbreaking when we're available once the demolition has taken place. But also just throughout the time, we want to be good neighbors and great stewards of the funds and the trust provided to us by the citizens of Dallas and by this community. So we will be hearing from us at critical times with different information and updates. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Bateson for any closing remarks from the campus. Ms. Bateson, if you want to say anything, thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. It is important that we have your feedback. If you reach out, if you have any questions. Thank you, Ms. Bell. Thank you, Ms. Nunez, for supporting us. It's going to be an amazing year. We are going to be taking care of your scholars next year. We are going to make the best experience for them, and then coming back stronger with a new building. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, and to keep up to date on this and up to date on this particular project, you can visit www.dallasisd.org/the new JQ Adams. That's THENEWJQADAMS. That will take you directly to the project website for this, where information will be shared as well. As I stated earlier, this meeting has been recorded and was broadcast live on Facebook. So if you know of people that's interested in this particular project or in Bond 2020, please direct them to our website. The recording and the presentation will be uploaded there in English and Spanish by noon on Thursday. So with that being said, thank you so much for your continued support. And most importantly, thank you for choosing Dallas ISD as your educational partner for your students. We hope you have a wonderful evening.